Madam Ambassador, in your opinion, what democratic change have taken place in Armenia in the past few years, or have they, as many experts insist, rather been a more imitation?
I have to say we've really welcomed some of the things that we've seen more recently, some of the developments that we've seen more recently, including, of course, the amnesty, which saw all of the March detainees released. We think that's very positive. The renewal of the investigation into what happened in March of 2008, and also the decision of the authorities to allow folks who want to demonstrate where they want. We think that's really, really important. First of all, on the issue of the investigation, I mean, we'll have to see where that goes because this is all in train and in process. But I think a genuine investigation not only provides closure to a very, traumatic chapter in Armenian history, but it also allows Armenia to figure out what went wrong. And, how can the police of any country allow demonstrators to demonstrate, but do it in a safe way, not only for the demonstrators themselves, but also for people around them? I mean, that is the responsibility of a government. And I think it's important to figure out what went wrong and make sure it doesn't happen again. And one of the important pieces of legislation, of course, is the recently passed electoral code, which is not a perfect piece of legislation. No legislation is, but it's an improvement over the last electoral code. The process itself, we felt, was a little bit more open. Again, not a perfect process, but more open than it has been in the past. More.
You think that this code more open than
the process? Yes, in terms of the hearings that were held. Conferences that were held, a willingness to listen to other stakeholders and their views. That's really important. Now, that doesn't mean that every suggestion was taken. I mean, that's never going to happen. What's going to be really important, though, is how the law is implemented. And that is absolutely critical. It was critical in previous elections. And it's going to be critical in this one. And I think there's going to have to be a very strong and clear signal that that what is wanted is a free and fair election. That's important for Armenia's future, and it's important to the Armenian people that they are represented by the people that they actually elected.
What would you say in this? How would you assess the current interior political situation in Armenia, and in particular, I mean, dialogue between opposition and the authorities?
Well, I think it's a really exciting time, and I think that. Again, it's too soon to tell what is really happening, at least for me as an outsider, as a guest in your country. But I think that there's been some movement. It sounds like the ANC and the government are going to enter into a dialogue. It's important that dialogue be transparent. It's important that it be a constructive dialogue. And we'll have to see where that takes Armenia. But I think it's very exciting, and I think there are big opportunities as Armenia enters this 2-year period of elections.
There has been a lot of speculation recently about your mediation between and to organize that dialogue.
Well, I can't claim the credit because it's the U.S. doesn't really have a role in terms of mediating. Clearly over the last couple of years, the U.S. Other international observers have said that having an open and transparent dialogue would be a positive thing for Armenia. Obviously, internal observers have said the same thing, but I think it's the Armenian process that can claim the credit.
What's your vision of the future of this complex region where there are unresolved problems and, in particular, Karabakh problem?
Well, I know that you've been covering, obviously, the NK negotiations mediated by the Minsk Group. Mm-hmm. Most recently, at the end of May, President Obama, Sarkozy, and Medvedev issued a statement in Deauville. And I think that was a really significant, I mean, they're all, of course, significant statements. This was a significant statement that talked about, the need for a negotiated settlement, the need for a peaceful settlement, and that the presidents believe, now is the time to move forward, and that the most recent version of the basic principles, as discussed in Sochi in March, really provides the basis to move forward, and it calls on the parties to move forward, at their next summit meeting.
Do you consider it's possible to sign some document in near future?
That's going to be up to the presidents. It's going to be up to President Sarkisyan and President Aliyev. But certainly the three presidents of the Minsk Group believe that there is a basis to move forward on, and they have called upon the two presidents to do just that.
Madam Ambassador, what will you take from Armenia as a person, not a diplomat, after ending your tour of duty?
I just feel that I've been so lucky to be here for 3 years because it's been, it hasn't been easy. I'll tell you that. But I think that that you learn and you grow when you're challenged. And so I've learned a lot while I'm here. I think I have, even developed some new skills, and that's always a good thing. But really what I'll take from my time here in Armenia is just, the friendships that I've developed with individuals here, which I hope will continue into the future.
And what's your farewell message to people of Armenia?
I think my farewell message, I think, is that this is a wonderful country with lots of opportunities. And, it's not easy, but I think if the Armenian people, who are so smart and so well educated, if people pull together rather than, in the English we say pulling apart, if people pull together and try to build that future on a basis of, democracy, I think that Armenia will really have an amazing future. And I think we can see many of the elements present. And so I'm full of hope when I think about the future of Armenia.